Welcome to California Unearthed. I'm in the quaint mountain town of Dunsmuir here in Northern California. Behind me is the historic and haunted Hotel Dunsmuir. This hotel has been recently featured in a motion picture by the same name that you guys can see on Amazon. I will put a link in the description down below to go watch the movie. The movie was written and directed by Michael Hall. Filming was done right here in the hotel. We're going to go check that out, along with talk about the history of the hotel. This hotel dates back to the late 1800s. Let's go learn about the history and see if we can find some ghosts. The film Hotel Dunsmuir is a supernatural indie thriller written and directed by Michael Zinkel Hall and was just released on October 4th of this year to most streaming services. I personally watched it on the Amazon Prime Video service and fell in love with it. It is a really good independent film. I've watched it twice already. The thing I like about it is that most of the cast and crew are from here locally in Shasta and Siskiyou County, and they are now making a second bigger film in Dunsmuir, and it's going to be starring Kevin Spacey and Rebecca De Mornay, and it's called Peter 5-8, and that'll be out later next year. But for now, definitely check out Hotel Dunsmuir. I will put a link in the description down below to the Amazon site, so if you're into supernatural thrillers, this is a must-see. Ripley's Believe It or Not called Hotel Dunsmuir the Upside Down Hotel, because to be able to get to your room, you had to go down. Hotel Dunsmuir has had 3 renovations and 5 name changes over the last 135 some years. Currently, the hotel goes by the name The Hotel California, and yes, it is inspired by the Eagles song by the same name. The original hotel was built in the mid to late 1800s on the corner of Sacramento Avenue and Pine Street and was a wooden frame structure named the Mount Shasta Hotel. This was before the town just north of here was Mount Shasta City and was officially named in 1925. In 1903, disaster struck when a fire started at the hotel and destroyed the hotel along with almost every other building on Sacramento Avenue. After the fire, a local lumber mill owner by the name of Abner Weed saw the value of the property being directly across from the Dunsmuir train depot. So Mr. Weed purchased the property for $10,000 from J.W. Doherty and invested another $60,000 in the construction of the building that you see here. Abner would change the name to Hotel Weed, which Dunsmuir News called the finest hotel in Northern California, with a dining room, bar, lobby, offices, and 102 lodging rooms with private baths. The main entrance was directly across the street from the Dunsmuir train depot, making the hotel easily accessible to railroad travelers, local residents, and railroad employees who utilized the shops, bar, and restaurant on the ground floor. This is the Dunsmuir train depot, established in 1887. So this is where the passengers would get off to go to the hotel, which is right across the street, like I said. So this is a very historic depot. We can't get inside, the door is locked, unfortunately. But this is just the outside. They also have a museum here as well, and that is closed today, but it's just kind of cool to see this old train depot. And this train depot is the last train depot in California heading north. It's the farthest north train depot in California. And then I noticed something over here I think looks original. Don't know for sure, but it looks pretty cool. I think it's probably original. is a staircase going up to Sacramento Avenue and leading straight to the hotel. So people get off the train, walk this direction, up the staircase right here, and straight into the hotel. Mr. Weed hired San Francisco architect Ralph Warner Hart to design the building, which took a year to complete. The four-story brick structure is an example of Richardson Romanesque architecture, which is popular in the late 1800s. The style was a revival of the 11th and 12th century French, Spanish, and Italian architecture with a dark brick appearance, bands of arched windows, and recessed entrances. There once was a balcony that ran the entire length of the building, as you see in this photograph from 1904. It was removed in the 1920s. Hotel Weed, for the longest time, was the tallest building in Siskiyou County and had the very first elevator in the county, which was installed in 1904. Let's just take a moment and look at the beautiful architecture. Admire this building. I know the trees are kind of in the way now, but you get the idea. This is Sacramento Avenue to our right, Pine Street there to the left, train depot also now to the right. This is an absolutely beautiful building. This is one of my favorite places in Dunsmuir now. And from the front of the building, you would never know that this was back here unless you drove down Pine Street here. Now I'm going to show you the photograph from 1904 again with the balcony, because I'm going to point out where the pop-out was that you see in the photograph. Right here on the second floor. This is the pop-out that used to exist. It's not here anymore. That took you out to the balcony. This truly is a beautiful, beautiful building. Now you understand why Ripley's, believe it or not, called it the Upside Down Hotel. Abner Edward Weed was born in Dicmont, Maine on September 18, 1842, and served in the Union Army during the Civil War, enlisting on August 6, 1863, as private of the 8th Maine Infantry Company C. He was honorably discharged on January 18, 1866. He was known to be present with General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Courthouse when Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered. On September 18, 1866, Abner married Rachel Cobb Cunningham in Searsmont, Maine. The couple arrived here in California in the 1870s, living in Truckee and Sierra, finally arriving in Siskiyou County after 1886, where Abner was very successful in the lumber business. In 1897, he bought 280 acres for $400, built a lumber mill there, which was the beginning of the future city of Weed, just 16 miles north of Dunsmuir. Abner was a county supervisor from 1900 to 1908 and a California senator from 1907 to 1909. He passed away in Weed on June 14, 1917 at 74 years old and is buried here in Dunsmuir at the Dunsmuir Cemetery. I'm just down the road from the hotel, about a half a mile at the Dunsmuir Cemetery, paying my respects to Abner Weed. He's buried here with his wife, Rachel. So we're going to flip the camera around and show you the family plot and a little bit of the cemetery here. Beautiful cemetery. You can hear the train real close. Train tracks are just on the other side of the cemetery here. And here is the Weed family plot. There's Abner and his wife Rachel. Pay our respects to California State Senator, entrepreneur, in 1944, disaster struck once again. Another fire broke out at the hotel, this time causing extensive interior damage. According to the current owner, Mark, during the reconstruction, workers used the brick skeleton of the building, but also used leftover concrete from the construction of Shasta Dam to reinforce the exterior walls of the building. During renovation, San Francisco engineer L.H. Nishkin, hopefully I'm saying that name correctly, who was known for his pioneering earthquake engineering, designed a unique addition which would become the new entrance to the hotel. The new entrance would be pivotal to the hotel's success due to the increased automobile traffic and decline of rail passengers in the 1940s. Dunsmuir's center of commerce had shifted from Sacramento Avenue, a block west, to Florence Avenue, now known as Dunsmuir Avenue, due to the construction of Highway 99, aka Florence Avenue, in the 1920s, with increased automobile traffic through town. So due to the 1944 renovations, the main entrance to the hotel was changed from Sacramento Avenue up the hill to Florence Avenue. It was a single-story addition at street level on Florence Avenue. It joined to the main hotel structure at the 4th floor, including rooftop parking and a grand lobby facing Florence Avenue, across from the popular California Theater and the Grand Travelers Hotel. With the new entrance, the building changed names once again. It went from Hotel Weed to Hotel Dunsmuir. The design of the upper addition was a contrast to the original Hotel Weed design, being an art modern style popular in the 1940s with the smooth stucco walls, circular windows, and rounded corners, very reminiscent of 1930 Southern California Spanish architecture. Hotel Dunsmuir reopened in 1947 and once again became one of Dunsmuir's finest hotels. To the left of the lobby was the site of the many restaurants over the years. The Dunsmuir Hotel Restaurant, Joaquin Miller's, Carbone's, and Salt H2O. Hotel Weed and Hotel Dunsmuir both offered the most extravagant accommodations available in the area and was once frequented by the wealthy and Hollywood elite. Some notable individuals like William Randolph Hearst, Charlie Chaplin, the Marx Brothers, Marilyn Monroe, just to name a few. The town was known for being a secret playground to the rich and famous. As hotels declined in popularity in the 1980s, Hotel Dunsmuir became a residential hotel, and after extensive interior renovations once again in 1982, changed its name once again, but now it's the Dunsmuir Apartments. Today the hotel goes by the name the Hotel California, like I said earlier, and rents out themed rooms. Alright, we're going to go on inside. Check this out. This is the main lobby. Look at that staircase there. That's awesome. So this is the main lobby. This was built in the 40s, 1944, 1947. Like I was saying earlier. It's absolutely beautiful. Imagine what this looked like back in the 40s when you had people like Charlie Chaplin, Kennedy, Marilyn Monroe, all coming here and partaking in food and drink. And those who did stay here, after some 135 years of operation, the hotel is home to many infamous spirits, many of which have become vibrant characters of the hotel's historic past, so much so that the hotel was featured on the show Ghost Finders. It is now the new movie by the same name, Hotel Dunsmuir. The ghost in the movie is one that actually haunts the hotel. It's a male maid, him along with 3 others, Charlie, a 5-year-old boy, James, a man that hung himself on the staircase, and the lonesome wanderer from room 307. Guests and employees have all experienced multiple occasions when they've seen orbs, had things moved. One employee actually saw a complete figure of an older woman in period dress and glasses that actually walked right through him. This is the staircase here that 2 people had lost their lives on. The one was a 5-year-old boy who fell from here to the bottom and lost his life. His name was Charlie. Second is a man named James who unfortunately hung himself from the staircase. And both of those are known to haunt the hotel. Beautiful staircase, though. Alright, so from the staircase that we were just at, we are going to go check out the room that the movie Hotel Dunsmuir was filmed in. Just right down here. There's voices down the hall. All right, here we go. If you've seen the movie, this table is where the maid is cleaning. And from what I understand from the owner, he was telling me that the actress was staying in this room while they were filming. And so this is the room that they actually filmed the movie in. I'm not going to give anything away as far as what happened in here. I want you guys to watch the movie. This is pretty cool. And if you are so inclined, you can come and stay in this room. I love how they decorated in here. Absolutely cool. Like I was saying, if you're so inclined, you can come rent this room out if you dare. Alright, and what's really interesting is what the owner just pointed out. It's a stuffed owl up here. I guess it'd be kind of creepy if you were in here resting and you got that thing staring at you. Alright, let's move on. All right, we are on the 3rd floor and we're going to one of the most interesting rooms here in the hotel. This is room 307. This is the room where the lonesome wanderer hung himself inside the room. And there's known to be an orb that floats around here, objects that move, things that have been moved around that people can't explain. And the hotel does not rent this room out anymore. So it's pretty interesting. Possibly too many spooks, too many stories of people going in here and having experiences. But yes, 307. And so the other ghost story, or the other person, is a male maid that has been known to walk the halls here and knock on people's door and say, housekeeping. And that is the character that the movie Hotel Dunsmuir is drawn after, is the maid. And the interesting thing is it's a male maid, not female. As you guys are watching this on the interior, I don't see it here, but you may be able to see orbs or shadows, anything as I'm filming. If you do, put it in the comments down below. You never know. And down here on the 3rd floor, there's a room here that the owner was telling me he was with some guests. And this door here was opening and closing on its own, slowly, making some eerie sounds. They couldn't explain why it was opening and closing. There was no wind, nothing like that. So that's kind of freaky. That's it for this episode of California Unearthed. Hopefully you enjoyed as much as I did. I want to give a huge shout out to the owner, Mark, for letting this go inside and giving me a lot of the history that I gave to you guys. Also, a huge shout out to Ron McLeod, the owner of Dunsmuir Hardware. I got a lot of information from him as well. So I want to thank those two guys immensely. Without them, this video couldn't have been done. So thank you. Once again, if you want to watch the movie Hotel Dunsmuir, I will put a link in the description to go right to the movie. I will also put a link in the description for the Hotel Dunsmuir if you want to book a room and stay here yourself and maybe get a ghostly experience. Who knows? So if you guys like the video, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, comment down below, and we'll see you guys on the next adventure.